What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about how long Guardians of the Galaxy's game should be. And hopefully, by the way, the title changes. I've made this video before, and I try to kind of use the how long to beat kind of formula, and it seems to do really good reception. People seem to like it. There have been people that say that they kind of get confused based off the title, that I'm misleading. I don't want to do that, so let's see what happens with this video. And, if it does bad, I'm going to go back to the other kind of title, but if it does fine, I'll leave it here. But I do want to talk about this because I do think it's actually both parts. It's not even how long will the game be, but also, like I said, like the actual title, how long, should it be for the game to be what it needs to be? That's actually kind of a theme I have taken when talking about this game, is really from the beginning, is I've always thought this game has had potential, but it also has a ton of things that I'm very worried about. We've talked about all of them in the past. Even in the video with me saying, why I'm buying it, I also said, hey, there's a lot of things that I am not interested in, or I'm not into with what we've seen of it so far. And the length of the game is honestly pretty important. Number one, it's important for the money. Now, this is always a sensitive topic. I try to say that in all the videos that I talk about money, because money is not, not everybody has the same exact situation. You may have an abundance of money, you may have zero money, and maybe you only can get one game in October. We don't know each other's personal situation. However, there is the sense of, okay, well, the money is worth a certain amount of value in terms of the game's length. If you're paying $60, the price for this game, and the game is a 6-hour story, is that worth it for you? And the answer is up to you. So that, I think, plays its way in. Now, I feel like, and this is without doing, and I have done, I've tried to look online, because sometimes the developers will talk about the length of the game. As of right now, I am recording this pretty early from when you guys are seeing this. I'm recording this on October 7th, so it is quite a while early. But I've seen nothing online that says how long the game is to beat. Now, maybe I just didn't look in the right place. Maybe you guys know the answer. Maybe a developer has said it before. Let me know. I feel like I did see somebody say 20 to 25 hours, but I think that could have been what they wanted it to be, not what it actually is. So, you correct me if I'm wrong, or you just, you tell me how it is. I have no problem with you guys, doing that to me. So that's, that's a question. How long, will the game be? I'm hoping the game is at least like a 15-hour thing. And I'll tell you why. I guess you can maybe lower it to 10 to 15. But the thing is, and I'm going to go back to the topic I did last week, right? Because last week we talked about choices in the game, right? How much does choices in the game matter? What will it actually kind of lead to? And that really is one of, if not the most important thing that the game has going for it. Because, like I said, the character models, I don't think the game has going for it. I think it's mixed. The voice acting, I think, is mixed. The comedy, I think, is mainly negative in terms of, it mainly doesn't hit. The combat, I think, is already scared off a fair amount of people, and then the rest of the people are probably just tolerating it. And now, again, these are just my assumptions. These are just kind of my opinions on the game. But really, I think what draws this game in, because if it didn't have this kind of story element, I really think nobody would really care about it, is the fact that your choices are going to matter, right? So, again, why do I bring that back up? Well, you need the length of the game to allow that stuff to matter. If your game is too short, so now I've said it before, right? I don't mind. Resident Evil Village took me 6-7 hours to beat, and it was a full price game. I didn't mind that because the quality was there. They did what they needed to do. I didn't feel stuck in the world longer. They didn't drag it out. I felt it was a perfect amount of time for what they were trying to do. And you could argue is $60 is it basically $10 an hour of playtime? Is that worth it to you? You could argue that, but I don't think it overstayed its welcome. And I also don't think it felt too short where it ended, right as it started to get good, or whatever. I didn't feel that. But it's also the kind of game that it is, right? Guardians of the Galaxy, again, this is a game that you're supposed to like these characters, or get to know, maybe not even but get to know them, get to know the dynamic between all of them. And when you make choices in this game, they need to have impacts. And I just think, you can compare it to Mass Effect if you want, and people, took that, they did that, right, in the preview event. There were many people comparing it to Mass Effect. One of the reasons I think Mass Effect works is it's not a short game. None of them are short games, right? It takes time to really develop the relationship. Well, it takes time to give us this universe and these characters and these planets and this conflict, but then it also lets you connect with them, and it lets your choices do something, throughout the entire game, whether it's in just a couple missions or, well, you have to do that, right? Decisions make impact in a specific mission you're doing it in, but also there's overarching things that you're choosing in this game that have something that's going to happen down the line, right? That you kind of can sense is going to happen. You need it to feel like it's moving at an okay length of time, I guess. I don't really even know the best way of describing it. Now, I will say, again, like making it too long is also not a good idea. You don't want to stretch the game out too far where it just gets boring. So again, I would say that, I don't know if like 10 hours, it's tough because we don't get, for as big of a genre and as many like really good games we've gotten from these choose your own, path kind of games, we haven't gotten actually that many. You know what I mean? Like a huge amount of them. We've gotten like big hits, but it's tough to say like, 10 hours is like that perfect amount of time where your decisions can make an impact. But I guess, you know what? Honestly, talking about the length of time too, you do have to talk about all the other stuff. And I guess the one other thing I do want to focus on is that combat again. And again, maybe it's not the most popular opinion in the world, but I mean, I am not a fan of the combat. I don't think it looks like absolutely awful, but I don't think it looks good at all. So it's kind of just a thing where, and maybe that's actually a good thing. Maybe when I play the game, it's going to be surprising where it's like, oh my God, actually the gameplay loop is pretty cool. So like, I want that to happen. I hope that happens. But if it doesn't, again, that also plays its way in where, the story can be as good as it can be, and the characters can be as good as they can be, and the impact of your decisions can actually be meaningful. But if you're playing the game, and again, the game's 15, 20, if some people want 20, 25 hours, think about how much the gameplay you're going to have to do in that time. You know what I mean? So think about the combat, doing it over and over and over and over again in a 20-hour loop. So, it really is the point of all of these videos. You know what I mean? What is the perfect kind of length of time for a specific game? That's what these topics are all about. And Guardians is an interesting one because I would actually say for the first time in a while, because again, I've always kind of defended games that are short, or people say it's not, or even like Kena Bridge of Spirits. That game, I don't even actually remember because so many things have just happened in my life. But let's say 6-7 hours, maybe a little bit more to beat that game. It was $40. I mean, I saw people complaining about that, right? That's not long enough for $40. I backed that game up. I said I don't agree with that. I get again that money and that kind of value is different for each person, but I would never say that myself. I don't believe that. But I do think for a game like Guardians, I guess you could argue what I've said earlier in the video where it's like, well, if the quality's there and it gets in, it tells the story it wants to do, and it gets out, and it's 8 hours, and you still feel like you went on this journey with these characters and your choices made an impact, and it's 8 hours long, and that's it, and then that's it. And so I will say, like, I would be fine with that if that happens. I do think you need a little bit more time than that. I would say more of that, a 12 to 15 hour stretch. But hey, again, if we walk out 8 hours and you say, you know what, though, that was very solid. Like, we got in, we did what we needed to do. Everything had meaning to it. Everything had purpose, and we got out. I'll defend it. I'll defend the fact that $60 for 8 hours, Alex, are you insane? It's not worth it. I don't agree. I don't think every game needs to be 50 to 100 hours long. Again, there are some people that think that, and there's some people that live by that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But it's just interesting, when those conversations come out, and that's honestly kind of what sparked these kind of videos for me. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How long do you think the game will be? How long do you think the game should be? All that stuff. I have been covering Guardians. This, I believe, is the third video. 3 weeks in a row I've made videos on this. I'm going to continue. There'll be a video hopefully next week when the game comes out. I'll be playing it. We'll make videos on it as we go. We'll talk about the ending, all that good stuff. So lots more videos for Guardians coming very, very soon. So make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon, all that good stuff. If you guys want to check out any of my other social media, I have a Twitter, I have a second channel, and we also have Patreon and YouTube memberships. The links for all of them are in the description below. The join button next to the subscribe button is the YouTube membership thing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.